Yo, what up guys, MxgicIQ here, and today I'm giving you guys my full review of JDM Japanese Drift Master. We're going to talk about drifting, grip, as well as what I think the game is missing, because right now in its current state, I think this game has an insane amount of potential. But unfortunately, as most games that have come out recently, it just feels unfinished. I feel like we're missing a lot of content that should be in the base game, especially for something that's not advertised as early access. As you guys will see later, I feel like the roadmap that you see when you first load into the game is kind of a slap in the face. But let's get straight into this, man. I've tried to record this a couple times now, and I feel like I just start ranting, but I want to try one more time and keep the rant to a minimal. Let's start out with the map. This map's a 10 out of 10. We got Ebisu Complex, we got Tsukuba, we got Daikoku, we got Oi Wharf. We got so many locations that are inspired by Japan that are very, very sick. This map is everything any open world racer has ever wanted. The storyline is rather cool. Not too much into manga. I know you guys are going to say I'm saying it wrong regardless, but it's a cool read. I do wish there was some narration, but it's pretty cool. I will say though, when you're starting out kind of at the beginning of the game, the car is very weird as far as it goes when it comes to drifting and grip. It's more grip based, but it's not grip based, it's also drift based. It's very awkward drifting or grip racing low power, low grip cars, which, I mean, obviously I'm not expecting the starter car to feel great right out of the gate, but some of the events you feel like you have to do things that just don't simply satisfy you as a driver or look good in order to achieve scores on these runs. It's very unfortunate, and the AI is absolutely atrocious when it comes to the story, but I do like the actual storyline, and I think it's definitely not bad. But let's take a look at this roadmap. So as you guys can see here, we have 3 phases that are from 3 to 9 months out, and on the 9-month phase it says split screen. I don't understand how this game doesn't have multiplayer already. This game would be a 9 to 10 out of 10 almost if it had multiplayer, especially because it's a drift game. Now you guys are going to say, well, TXR, Tokyo Extreme Racer doesn't have it, and it doesn't need it. First off, yes it does. Anybody that still thinks that game doesn't need multiplayer, I don't know what you're smoking, but I want it. But also, that game is just highway racing against AI that can be somewhat, intelligent and actually difficult. The drifting AI in this game, if they spin out, they kind of just sit there for 5 seconds and you're both stopped until they decide to reset. They're very, very glitchy. The drifting is very slow in behind AI, or sometimes it's just way too fast to where you can't catch them and they randomly get a bunch of grip and you simply aren't level 20 yet, so you don't have semi-slicks and you just get left and the timer runs down. It's just very weird. It's a very weird balance as far as the AI goes right now. I didn't have too many issues in full release. It wasn't as bad, but it also wasn't anywhere near challenging. So hopefully there's some adjustments being made there. I've seen they made a few already, but I feel like this game is just very, very early access to be advertised as a full release game. Now, while yes, there's no multiplayer, they do actually have leaderboards. And now, I'm going to tell you, these leaderboards are the cheesiest things possible. As far as the drifting goes, it's not even fun. You just do donuts to try and get the highest score possible, or do unnecessarily amounts of manjis in order to get more score, and I don't even know how some of these guys got these scores. It's just super cheesy. And then the grip leaderboards, as you can see, is all NSXs, and even some people cheating already. So that's great. But let's talk about the physics real quick. I do have to say the drift physics, I give them a solid 7 to 8 out of 10. They feel really decent for Simcade. You actually have to counter steer, and I like that. The feeling of the weight is decent. Grip can be kind of awkward depending on the tire, but as long as you balance your power and grip properly, the drifting feels pretty good. If you get a nice tune, it feels very good on wheel as well. I actually rather enjoyed my S13 setup on wheel, so you guys should probably go ahead and give that a shot and check out that video. Now, on grip, I do not like this game. I don't really like the grip physics. Very understeery unless you're using just an all-wheel drive car, and very floaty. Even then, in an all-wheel drive car, you get a lot of the car breaking loose. And the customization, also just hopping into this real quick, I'm gonna throw this clip on screen. Some cars have a ton of freedom, like this RX-7 here, ton of freedom, and then some cars just simply have no freedom. The S15 that I have also looks like, since it has no spacer adjustment in this game, looks like it's about to tip over. It's just very bad. The wheel is so pushed in, and we're not going to get any improvement on that for another 3 to 6 months, as you guys see by phase 1 here. So slightly unfortunate there, but hopefully that comes sooner than later, because I feel like that's just finishing up the tuning system and will probably help out with some of the grip stuff. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Once we're able to put wider tires on cars, maybe the grip physics will feel better, but right now it feels very floaty. You get a lot of understeer and oversteer. You're never really balanced. I think they need a 1 step higher, grippier tire in the game for it to feel very, very decent. And these tailgate routes are a ton of fun to like kind of grip slide though. So I don't even feel like it'd be much of a problem if we could set our own parameters in multiplayer lobbies, which I did unfortunately get a DM when I was DMing somebody that is, I think, I don't want to misspeak and say they're a dev or an admin or what they are, but it's the same person I asked before when they said, let's just say the multiplayer is coming soon. I asked if they plan on doing open lobbies for said multiplayer, and they said that's still to be decided. I don't think it's even a question. This game needs open lobbies. I don't even care about the events, because obviously we have no way of fixing the integrity of it unless you guys add clipping points into the drifting events and actual categories for the racing, which would be pretty one-sided and a bunch of NSXs everywhere if you were to do actual races. I really hope you guys work on open lobbies, because I think this game really needs it. It would take it to the next level. It would make this game absolutely legendary, in my personal opinion. But that's just me, man. Let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comments. And I'm going to show you guys something here. As you guys see, we are on the Ebisu Toge course. I'm going to go up to this light. And with the graphics, while I believe the game is very well optimized, I run it pretty decently on my 4070 Super. I get around 140 FPS on all ultra settings with frame gen, to be fair. It runs pretty nice, but how is there no volumetric lighting on some of these lights? Like, this car looks so bad because there's no shadows underneath it, and the lighting just looks very poor sometimes. But some places there is volumetric lighting, so I'm just a little confused. As you can see there, going under that light, I have shadows under these lights, so some lights just simply don't have shadows and some do. The car looks way better in this scene as we're pulling up to Daikoku, man. I really wish, God, I really wish it had multiplayer, because as you can see here, a car meet here would be absolutely wild. And here's another clip on screen of showing the game actually not being advertised as early access. So it's being advertised as a fully released game, while the roadmap just completely contradicts that. So hopefully they fix that up. I think for the price of $35, the game, it's a rather steep price, even at the sale price of $30. I think this is definitely a $20 game. The story, while it's decent, kind of bounces around, especially with the missions that you're playing. And for a game inspired so much by Initial D, there's like little to no Toge, which I thought was rather interesting. And here's the player charts for TXR, so you guys can see what happens when a game only has single player. But the game just really feels like, I don't know, man, like it's supposed to be inspired by Initial D, but there's more focus on Tsukuba and Ebisu than anything. There's not really any Toge races or battles with, you know, Toge routes. I really expected some cat and mouse from a game that was advertised to be inspired by Initial D. It definitely has cool routes to drive on, but they're not utilizing the story at all. So sorry if that's a little spoiler there, but I think there's like 1 or 2 races that have anything to do with Toge, kinda, and it's not even directly that, and they're also not very competitive, so you don't get that battle feel. But man, if you guys like single player games, you might love JDM, Japanese Drift Master. But personally, I think there's a ton of potential to be had here, but I think the game just falls a little short right now. The car list is also missing cars that were used to advertise the game, and that's unfortunate because it's not like there's a licensing struggle. The Evo and the 3000 GT are in the game without licensing, so I expected to see the Supras and the 8.6 hatch, not just the coupe. And I'd have to get it a final rating of 6.5 out of 10 with a potential of 9 to 9.5. I think this game could go places that no other place has been before, no other game has been before, because we have the Japan map we've always wanted. Now they just need to finish the game, in my opinion. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.